On a cold December night in 2015, inside a private room at a quiet San Francisco restaurant, a group of men gathered to plot a cosmic coup. They weren't there to build a startup for profit. They were there to save the world from an existential threat. The threat was Google. At the time, Google had just acquired DeepMind, effectively creating a monopoly on the most brilliant minds in artificial intelligence. Elon Musk and Sam Altman shared a terrifying vision, a future where a single corporation owned the God mode of technology, potentially enslaving humanity or becoming a digital dictator. That night, OpenAI was born. It was founded as a nonprofit, a scientific temple where the world's most powerful code would be open to everyone. Their mission was sacred: to build AGI, artificial general intelligence, and ensure it remained a public good. But as we stand here in 2026, that temple has been razed. In its place stands a ruthless, multi-billion-dollar corporate empire. The open in OpenAI is now a closed door, and the friends who started it are now locked in the most expensive legal and ideological war in history. How did the savior of humanity become its most controversial predator? In the beginning, OpenAI was the underdog. They recruited Ilya Sutskever, a genius poached from Google's brain trust. Ilya didn't care about money. He cared about the soul of the machine. He believed that with enough data, the machine could eventually feel, think, and transcend. But idealism has a high price tag. By 2018, the reality of the compute war hit. To train the models that would eventually become GPT, OpenAI didn't just need smart people, they needed supercomputers. And supercomputers cost billions. Elon Musk, who had provided the initial funding, saw the writing on the wall. He proposed a total takeover. He wanted to merge OpenAI into Tesla, believing his resources were the only way to beat Google. Sam Altman, the quiet but lethal strategist, said no. This was the spark that started the fire. Musk walked away, pulled his funding, and left OpenAI to starve. For most companies, this would be the end. But for Sam Altman, it was an opportunity to shed the skin of a nonprofit and become something far more powerful. In 2019, Altman performed a legal miracle, or a legal betrayal, depending on who you ask. He created a capped profit subsidiary. This allowed OpenAI to take massive investments while technically remaining a nonprofit at the top. Enter Satya Nadella and Microsoft. Microsoft wasn't looking for charity. They were looking for a weapon to destroy Google's search dominance. They injected $10 billion into OpenAI. In exchange, they got exclusive rights to the technology. Suddenly, the open in OpenAI became a black box. The research papers stopped being shared. The code was hidden. The God mode they promised to give to the world was now being sold to the highest bidder. Inside the office, the tension was rising. The original engineers, the priests of the nonprofit, felt the walls closing in. A group of them, led by Dario Amodei, couldn't take it anymore. They quit to form Anthropic, a rival company dedicated to AI safety. They saw Altman as a man who had sold his soul to the corporate machine. But Altman wasn't looking back. He had the fuel he needed. In November 2022, he released ChatGPT, and the world changed forever in 5 days. November 17th, 2023. While Sam Altman was being treated like a global head of state, his own board of directors was sharpening their knives. In a sudden Zoom call, they fired him. The board, led by Ilya Sutskever, believed Altman was moving too fast. They feared he was prioritizing product launches over human safety. They believed they were stopping a monster. But they underestimated the world Altman had built. In 48 hours of pure chaos, the army of employees revolted. 700 out of 770 employees signed a letter saying, "If Sam doesn't come back, we all quit." Microsoft stepped in, offering to hire every single one of them. The board realized they hadn't fired a CEO. They had tried to fire a religion. They lost. Altman returned in triumph. Ilya Sutskever, the man who started the coup, was sidelined and eventually left the company. The board was purged and replaced with figures closer to the world of finance and power. The scientists had lost the war for OpenAI. The capitalists were now in total control. As we look at OpenAI today, the transformation is complete. What started as a move to stop a monopoly has become a monopoly itself. Elon Musk is now suing the company he helped create, claiming breach of contract. He argues that OpenAI is now a de facto Microsoft subsidiary. Meanwhile, Altman is looking beyond software, reportedly seeking $7 trillion, nearly 10% of the global GDP, to rebuild the world's chip manufacturing. The story of OpenAI is a reminder that in the world of high tech, the best or nothing usually ends with the winner takes all. Sam Altman didn't just build a chatbot, he built a new kind of empire, one that hides behind the language of saving humanity while building the most profitable tool in the history of our species. So where does that leave us? Are we witnessing the birth of a digital savior or the most brilliant con ever played on the human race? Will you trust the savage realism of Sam Altman to lead us into the future? Or do you side with the bankrupt idealism of the men he left behind? The crown of the digital age is on the table, and the man holding it is no longer the friend we once knew.